This is episode 12. And if you do that math, that means it's 3 straight months we've been bringing this to you. So it's a hell of a streak coming up with topics and discussion points. But anybody that's been listening, thank you. Anybody paying attention, and I know some people have. This week last week, went out to the opening day party, I guess, for the Rangers and all, and a couple of people came up and said, "Hey, I've been listening to your podcast. I've been doing this, and
really?
Great topic." Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it was, not like coming out in droves. I think there were 3 people. But they did tell me they weren't listening. What was my mom? Right. So thank you, anybody that's actually been paying attention, listening. For those just joining in, click like, subscribe, follow us along, join the WTF-DFW Facebook page, and, join in on our mayhem and all. So last week, to recap, we kind of talked about authenticity when, covering a song and how certain songs have a specific element to them that just make that song feel right, whether or not it's a guitar scream or, the way a vocalist changes his pitch or the timing with the drums, something that makes a song unique. What is interesting is I saw somebody this week posted on Facebook that they're creating I guess Carlos Dantano was his name. He's creating a White Lion tribute band, and I don't know if you know White Lion from the 80s, but my basic response on that was, well, if you could somehow master Vito Bratta's guitar in a song called Little Fighter, then I'm interested. And I started really listening to White Lion yesterday and the day before. Again, I absolutely love him. Vito Bratta is probably one of the top guitarists, and I'll actually put him above like Nuno and Extreme for it. I know that'll offend some people who like Extreme, but the guy's tone, and what he does is just phenomenal. So if somebody can replicate that, I'm going to end up booking him. If you can't replicate that, I don't know if you're, really a White Lion tribute. But I'm interested to hear it, and looking forward to that. So absolutely, if you nail the tone, you nail the nuances of a song, I'm really interested in you. So last week we had Wednesday live band karaoke again. I missed it. We had some new people show up I know of because they were messaging me on Facebook saying, I'm here, and I'm like, well, I'm not at opening day starting our festivities out there, but it was a great night Wednesday night. The same thing Thursday night was Basket Case, Rick, Mike, and them put on a hell of a show. Sorry I missed that. I always love going out and seeing Basket Case performing. Friday was Grand Illusion with Breaking Bad Company, and that's always a killer show. I love Grand Illusion. They're incredibly talented, and if you're talking about a Styx, tribute, and listen to that vocals, that's incredible. But then Saturday was Pure Collins, a Phil Collins tribute with Weebop, Cyndi Lauper opening. And I'm telling you, we went to that, we came back, and that was a really fun show. I mean, I've seen Pure Collins before. It was his second to last time performing, their singer, performing with that band. He's going off doing his own thing, and then their drummer is actually going to be taking over the reins. He did sing a couple of songs the other night. Sounded really good. The vocals, and both of them actually have that Phil Collins tone. And when you think about anything from Genesis all the way on to, his own individual stuff that he did, he's got a pretty dynamic voice, and it was interesting. It was a really good show. I liked the way they performed. But
Phil Collins was great.
He really was, and you forget about how many songs that you know, and you don't realize
Miami
it is
Vice.
him, But he's like, it was just really good to see. And then we had a conversation afterwards with the drummer, and he was like, what did you think? He's going to be taking over singing. And I said, well, kind of like the topic this week, there are certain parts of a song that you expect to hear, and they did a Genesis song called Abacab, and part of that song, it relies heavily. There's a part of it that has a heavy hi-hat for about 2 beats within the song, and I couldn't hear it, but it was because I think it wasn't mic'd up correctly and turned up for that part. And he's like, I promise I did that. I said, I know, but those are certain, it tied right into what we were talking about last week. there's a certain part of a song that you expect to hear that, to me, makes that song. But what's even funnier was the singer for the Cyndi Lauper tribute, she absolutely resonated that persona of Cyndi Lauper on stage.
I saw some of the videos of it.
Yeah, it really was. It was so fun, and a couple of things really stood out. First, I met her before the set, and she came up to me. We were talking. I actually met her apparently previously on my birthday back in January, and I don't think it was I'm not going to say like it wasn't my best moment, but I wasn't rude or anything like that. It just, I'm like, yeah, I totally don't remember. Like, so, but we did get to talking, and I don't know if people realize Cyndi Lauper, I believe, was from New York. So when she was up on stage and she's putting on a Cyndi Lauper persona, with all the little laughs and giggles and the way she talked and all, we talked afterwards, and she's like, I was leery about actually being too Cyndi Lauper-ish because I didn't want you to think I was making fun of your accent. And I'm like, no, next you got to do it. You know, you got to sound like you're from New York and all.
She's on a new commercial now too.
Oh yeah, but for some like drug or something, right?
Skin thing.
Yeah, something. Yeah. What is that shit that you get?
Cialis or something?
Not Cialis. Not sciatica. I don't know what they call it.
Eczema.
Eczema. There you go, for some kind of eczema pill.
Yeah.
But side effects could include diarrhea.
Yeah, I know. Always, like man. I think I got that side effect right now. Just kidding.
So it was really kind of cool.
Like Cyndi Lauper's dad or something in one of the videos?
No, that was who's the wrestler?
Right? Yeah.
Lou Albano, Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, with the rubber bands.
Rubber bands in the beard.
Yeah.
But she really did, and she like put on such a performance. And I remember saying during that, like, if you're in a Cyndi Lauper tribute and you're not having fun up there, you might as well just get off the stage, because how do you, and it brings me really to the topic of this week is, personality. And I guess what we could say is, like Lee Autry, we were, I guess, last week at a show, and we were talking about the drummer and just watching the drummer, who ironically is the drummer for the Cyndi Lauper tribute. He apparently is in like 4 or 5 bands, but he's the drummer for the Cyndi Lauper band, and I remembered him because he was so just engaging, when he was up on that stage. And then I started thinking about it. So what is how important is personality? And I'm talking about, even personality in your daily life. Are you fun? Are you an asshole? I mean, I've been accused times of being an asshole, but
yeah, it's come in my nature.
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, nobody could accuse me of not having fun. And I think, we draw certain people that just want to have a good time. And I don't like surrounding myself with drama. I don't like any of that kind of BS. I just like having fun.
That's like girls, right?
What's that?
That's like girls.
Girls.
They just want to have fun.
Yeah, type.
See?
But it's he's been staving that one up.
Yeah.
But it's like in your daily life, are you a person that people want to be around because you're fun? Or are you an asshole or boring or confrontational all the time? And I think that's, you draw what you're around, and, even at work, are you engaging? Do people come by, talk to you? Do you associate with people? Or are you just kind of a loner? I mean, when you're at work, you could have a personality. You're allowed to. I love, even like my service staff and all, I love watching them in live band karaoke nights. Some of them get up on stage on Friday and Saturday. A few of them are like, is it okay if I dance? And I'm like, absolutely. First of all, I want our customers to be able to see our staff having a good time. And if the staff is having a good time, then the customers feel more engaged with, I guess, the staff member. They seem more human.
It's like Coyote Ugly or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, when we don't get up on the bar and spray customers and all, but if they're out having a good time, it's draws people into you. So I think if customers see a staff having a good time, they feel like they're having more fun with them, and bottom line is, if you're an engaging person, especially in the service industry, you're going to attract more people that want you to serve them. And then that's how you build your base of regulars and where your money comes from and all. So it's just about what your personality is like. And then on stage, if you're a performer, what is your, does your personality come through? Everybody could think of, and I'm not saying, it might not be their favorite guitarist or drummer and all of that, but if you think in terms of who is, I guess you could say, when you think of a front man, who's the first person you think about that's, a solid front man that's having fun and draws everybody in. The same thing with guitarists and drummers and bassists. Everybody's got somebody that they could think of. To me, if somebody says, hey, think of a front man, the first person that comes to mind is always David Lee Roth.
Man, that's exactly what I was thinking.
He's the epitome of a front man, and he was borderline asshole, but nobody could ever accuse him of having a good time, or not having a good time. And then you look at even like Eddie Van Halen, he'd be in the middle of a guitar solo smiling. Whether or not he's smiling like, I can't believe I just did that, or if he's smiling like he's just clearly having a good time. But
what about Queen?
Oh, Freddie Mercury, yeah, he's another one. They're engaging, but they're showing a personality when they're on that stage. So who do you think about, I always say, like, David Lee Roth. Recently we went to go see Extreme, and Gary Cherone, the singer from Extreme. Absolutely personable. He's having a good time. You could tell they're having a good time up on stage.
But what about new bands?
Well, and that's the other thing is, there's an element. I love country, and I'm going to say that over and over again. But there are artists that are absolutely dead boring.
Yeah, they just stand there like a stick.
Yeah, and I always think of, God forbid, I know it's blasphemy in this state to talk about George Strait, but the guy is just boring.
Isn't he in a wheelchair
Chris Stapleton is boring. No. Chris Stapleton, another one, boring.
Oh, is he?
Absolutely.
I haven't seen him.
He just stands there. You got a guy like Cody Johnson, who's all over the stage. He's running around. His guitarist, they're all having a good time. And you could tell that when they're up on stage. So, when I think of, even bands that have been on, at Fat Daddy's, the singer from the Cyndi Lauper band, she a dynamic personality up on stage. You could tell she's having fun. If I say, and for those people out there that are listening, and you think of terms of a drummer, has a good time every time you see him. His name is Paul Brown, but he's a drummer for the Back in Black band, but once in a while he guests as during live band karaoke. He's always just having a blast, and you could see him back behind the set, just having a good time, living in his own world. The dude from, like I said, the band called Goo, Reflective Soul, Cyndi Lauper. He's actually the drummer in that Monkey Business band. Another one, just having a good time back there. I see, even females say, like Yvette, who's, saying, I guess she's like a dancer and singer for Rebel Yell, but she's always got a smile on her face. Nikki from Crude and Tattooed always has a smile on her face. Oh, and Poison Ash she sings in, but you could tell she's having a good time, constantly making jokes up there. Someone like JC, Scars, he's, the singer for Rebel Yell. I'm not sure whether or not a lot of it is the act or the persona of who he's putting on, but he clearly does look like he's having a good time up there. So when I think in terms of...
Have you ever seen Billy Idol?
I have seen Billy Idol.
Yeah, how is he?
He's all right. He's not like dynamic live.
Just flexes a lot.
Yeah. I've seen him, it's been, 40 years or so, but then I think, even in terms of Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Oh, man.
The dude was a maniac when I saw him in the 80s. Probably seen him 3 or 4 times. And the guy used to do somersault flips all throughout the stage and all, but
he came out
always
with a new
knew.
one just not too long ago, a couple years ago.
What's that?
He came out with a new album or song, at least, a couple years ago.
It was crazy because I think that was one of the first bands that had a hit in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Oh, really?
And then, And then like they just stayed relevant all throughout the year. So every century or so, they would still have a.
That would be like Madonna, I guess, too, but she's in the 80s.
But yeah, exactly. But if you think about it, you know, if you're taking the stage, is your personality shining through, or do you look like you're bored to death? And we actually had a conversation that pointing out some people that we know that are either bored, they're beaten down, you know, they're just basically going through the motions now when we see them up on stage. And that's a shame because some of these people used to have this like brightness in their eyes and they were having fun, and now it looks like the world is just beating them down and they're just going through the motions up there. And that's a shame because these people that are going through the motions now, you could tell the audience is dwindling down as well. And they may need a reality check, you know, and, you know, somebody to say, hey, you look like you're bored. You look like you're having a horrific time up there. And I'm not talking about, you know, there's one thing people can do, there's choreography to 80s hair metal and all of that you could still be doing that and look like you're going through the motions, you know? And I'm talking about your personality shining through. Are you smiling? Do you look like you're having a good time? Are you doing your thing? Jeff Gilpin, another one who's a front man, he always looks like he's having a good time. The guitarist from Incognito, the guy's intense. You could tell he's in his world, but he's totally into what he's doing. He's not just up there going through the motions. You look at Max from Velcro Pygmies, and I forgot the guitarist's name, and Cam. These people are all having a good time, and they draw people in because they're having so much fun.
What about Mondo Bizarro?
Well, you really can't compare that because that's the Ramones, and the Ramones just pretty much just stood there, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and that was pretty much it, you know. They'd play a minute and a half song and then jump to the next one, you know, like that's, it's hard to compare, but of all of these bands we have up there, think about it. The next time you take a stage, if this is resonating with you, maybe it's time for you to just kind of say, oh, what's going on with me? Is my personality being impacted when I'm up on stage? And I compare it to my servers. I tell my servers all the time, if you're having a shitty day, do not let it be seen because you're not going to make money. Because your customer is going to be able to see you're having a shitty day, you're going to have an attitude, your personality's gone. Well, guess what? If your customers are the fans that come to see that band and it looks like you're beaten down, not having a good time anymore, people are going to stop showing up. And that's just my advice is really, you know, take it to heart and see whether or not you're one of those people that, you know, is coming across as having a good time and enjoying what you're doing still. Even if you're 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years into the business, are you still enjoying what you're doing? Or are you just going up and, you know, doing what you have to do to draw the paycheck? So that was it. That's the topic for this week. I know it wasn't, you know, a dynamic conversation, but it is something that kind of popped into my head this weekend. And as
I saw your personality come through right down.
Woohoo! I got a personality. It's in there somewhere. Multiple. So this week, again, tonight is live band karaoke with Shannon Cobb. Should be a good show. Unfortunately, we're not going to be there again. We're going to, I think, Merle Haggard's grandkids or something are putting on a show in Arlington somewhere. So we're going out to check that show out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Still the one, Shania Twain. Hold on, my computer just kind of, there we go. The Shania Twain tribute is tomorrow night. I'll probably pop out there because I believe it's her last show singing. And if I remember correctly, possibly Grace from Pink Slip may be taking over that role if I understood Chris McLuhan correctly. But I'll be out there tomorrow just to try to get a gauge of actually what's happening with that band. But still the one always puts on a good show out. The Dolan band is Friday night, and remember, he's out of Burleson area. Every time he shows up, it's just a packed crowd, and he plays everything from newer rock newer country to some traditional country to some bluesy stuff. But it's the type of band that'll get you up dancing, and you'll have a good time. And then Saturday night is Scotty Austin, the Arena Rock Show with the Lonely Ones, Love to Hate. The doors open at 6 o'clock. If you don't have a ticket, you're not in for that show. The first band goes on at 6:30. So we'll have 4 bands playing that night, all for the low price of.
Man.
But I know we've already, we had pre-sales are going really well, so table sales are doing really well. There might be some left. I recommend you go online or call the venue and book your table and make sure you're getting a spot inside. I also know my buddy John, his son, I say our son, his son, JT, is having his birthday party up there, so we'll have probably 40, 50 people up there in the private party room and out in front of that area. So it's going to be a packed house, but, you know, we'll be out celebrating JT's birthday Saturday, so I'll be out there. Come say hi to me. But get your tickets. Don't miss out on this. It's going to be a phenomenal show. Next week, again, Wednesday, live band karaoke. Vinyl Countdown is playing on Thursday. I'm looking forward to that. I should finally get to see them. I don't think we have anything planned, so I should finally. Last time I tried to fly back from the Extreme show when they were playing on a Saturday night, and as I pulled in, they were finishing the last song. So I missed them, and I promise, you know, I'll be there for that one. But I have to be able to see Vinyl Countdown. I've heard phenomenal things about them. Friday night next week is King George with Justin Myers. Looking forward to that. Justin has done a few acoustic shows for us back at when we had Mama Angie's. So he'll be taking the stage with his full band Friday night with King George. Saturday is Vital Signs, which is a Survivor tribute. I'm really looking forward to that. We haven't had them out before. They might be relatively new, but I'm really looking forward. There are a couple of Survivor songs, and no, not Eye of the Tiger, but other Survivor songs that really pop out in my head that have good guitar work to them. They're a good, solid band that I remember through getting, you know, I listened to a few of their, especially Vital Signs, that album. It came out when I was in high school at probably 84, 85, 86, somewhere around there. So I'm looking forward to them playing with Dallas Boston Experience. So DBE does really good.
Is that the one with Eye of the Tiger on it?
That is not the one with Eye of the Tiger.
Okay,
that was from Rocky. You know, I forgot what album that's on, but
that must have been like 82 or something.
So probably, but the Survivor's good. You know, they have some pretty cool cuts and good guitar work on there. So remember, Wednesday nights is Industry Night. So we have drink specials for you if you're in the service industry. I know my management team has been out pushing for it. You know, we're starting to get a few or more people showing up on Wednesday nights. Remember, we stay open until midnight for you people in the service industry. So come on out, have a good time with us.
What you mean, you people?
You people. You know, you people in the service industry.
Whoa.
You people. Thompson's construction is finally done, pretty much. Friday we're getting the lights in the basement finally fixed, but
freaked me out.
I think all of the damage is almost all done, you know, like all gone. There's no evidence of explosions until you look out the window and see the same man next door. So Thompson's should be fully back up, beautiful the way it was, you know, prior to that, I think December or January explosion, whenever that was. Reminder, Marksman, Gun of the Month specials. Last month, we sold out of all of our guns in all of our locations. So these specials are phenomenal. And remember, we're pricing them to be able to sell. We're not pricing them to be able to make money on these. These are special guns for the month. So Colleen, we have Winchester, SXP, Marine Defender shotgun, either 12 or a 20 gauge. And I think it's for $309, something like that. That's phenomenal. Granbury's got an HK VP9, but it's got a Damascus slide and a red dot scope on it. That's for $1,024, and that, trust me, $1,024 is cheap for that.
It looks wicked, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great looking gun too. Wichita Falls got a Chris Vector 45 ACP rifle for $14.99. And then Mansfield's got an Anderson Patriot Pro 5.56 for $424.99. So these are some incredible specials that are coming out. And we're doing this just so people have, you know, can see what we have. These are special sales items that we come up with every month, and they've been doing phenomenal. So all of these guns have been selling out. They're in there now. Today's what, the 3rd? So they've been selling out relatively quickly. I encourage everybody to get in there and pick up a firearm. And don't forget, cost of ammo has officially gone up as of April 1, but plan on most of your stores being out of stock on ammo come the end of the year. And it happens every election year, so buy it while you can still get it. We did overorder a lot of our ammunition to try to take advantage of the pricing before it went up, but to make sure that we also had a decent stock to be able to get us through as long as we can until the shortages happen. And the shortages will happen come August or September. We can show it like clockwork every year. So come on out, come visit one of our Marksman stores, and if we don't have something in one of our locations, we could always ship it from a location to you. It's not just specific to that one store. We can, especially like the gun of the month, if there's something you see, but go visit our website to see those guns of the month. It's on the homepage toward the bottom of it at marksmanfirearms.com. And don't forget, construction on Capone's Drink Easy and Sports Bar over in Burleson. So that's beginning, and we're still planning on offering that reach around somewhere around October or so. So be on the lookout, and if you enjoy a reach around, you'll enjoy it even better at Capone. So with that said, come on out. We hope to see you at one of our locations, Thompson's, Marksman, Fat Daddy's, House of Hot Rods. Come on out, come see us, say hi to us, and if there's anything you need, don't be afraid to ask. But appreciate you listening. Peace.